This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on a Wednesday. Tito, Jeff Thitoff with you. Bobby Carpenter, the general to my left. Sitting across from us, as always, producer extraordinaire Brody Wells. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. How are we doing today?
Standing. It's about the best. All I can tell you is I'm standing. How about that?
So is Elton John.
I think he's still standing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how if he still is, but I heard recently he was. Bodie, how are you this morning, my friend?
I'm pretty good, Tito. Can't complain too much, but sometimes I still do.
Big show lined up for you today. We're 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, HD3. Download the show anytime. Catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus, also Facebook, also Twitter. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin. Join us in the chat on YouTube as well. Would love to hear from the Juicers. We've got Austin Ward's going to join us today. We've got some NFL coaching news to discuss that happened after we were off the air yesterday. Ross Bjork spoke yesterday to Adam King and Timmy Hall. We'll hear some of that sound as well. And we'll have Austin Ward at 7, let's say 7:20 this morning. We'll do it that way. Last night, the Jackets, undefeated since they made the coaching change there, Bo. They beat Calgary 5-3. They host the Canucks on Thursday. Cavs are at Philly tonight at 7 o'clock. OSU men host number 17 UCLA on Saturday. And also tonight, the OSU women, 14th ranked McGuff's crew, hosts Penn State tonight at 6:30. So lots going on there. And as I told Bob, and I know everyone else wants to hear us too, about a month out from spring training, which we cannot wait for our
Super exciting
baseball coverage on Morning Juice. Bob, you see us doing a daily segment on that.
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
Believe me, it's you got to give the people what they want, right?
I think you're right on that one.
We've always been known as a baseball show.
Let's do Today in History, Bob.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Make me smarter, General.
It is Wednesday, January 14th, the 14th day of the year, 351 days remaining in this 2026. The state's 1784. The American Revolution finally is wrapped up with Congress ratifying the Treaty of Paris, ending the war against Great Britain. 1864. General William T. Sherman begins his march from Atlanta all the way to the sea, cutting a swath a mile wide through the heart of the South. This day, 1960, U.S. Army Corporal Elvis Presley receives a promotion to sergeant. There you go.
That's when he was over there with 14-year-old or 15-year-old Priscilla Presley, I believe.
There you go.
Where they met in the over he was in Germany. Yeah.
Nice.
Much younger.
This day, 1967, Sonny and Cher release The Beat Goes On. The beat goes on. This day, 1968, the second Super Bowl. Second consecutive win by Green Bay over Oakland, 33-14.
Throughout the second half, the old man watched his old men methodically take apart the Raiders. The defense had the final say. A 60-yard interception returned by number 26 Herb Adderley secured the Packers' second straight Super Bowl rout. This was Lombardi's last victory ride. 3 weeks later, he resigned as head coach.
Took a year off and then went to coach Washington.
There for how many years?
I think only one. Maybe two, then died.
He died right after that.
Yeah, I think only 1 year.
Yeah, 'cause he passed away in 1970, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
This date, 1973, Super Bowl VII with the Dolphins over the Redskins, 14-7.
The Dolphins had dominated Washington. Now they were dueling with destiny.
Don Shula, he had lost twice before in the Super Bowl, and now he watches the clock tick away as Shula has won his Super Bowl.
This is my third time around, and I haven't done too well in my first two Super Bowls, as a lot of people keep reminding me. It's been nothing but really frustration. Although we've won a lot of football games and I've been named Coach of the Year, there was always that empty feeling of not really having accomplished the ultimate. And this right here is the ultimate.
That is the ultimate. Struggled with a couple Super Bowls there with the Colts and Dolphins prior, so finally getting it done for Big Don. This day, 1973, on the same day, which is amazing. Elvis's concert, Aloha from Hawaii, is broadcast. It is the most watched broadcast by an individual entertainer in the history of television, over 1.5 billion.
Well, it's useless to say.
Great performance by Elvis.
Well, apparently he brought it home, landed the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So What by Joe Walsh, certified gold on this date in 1975. Oh, and wrapping up the events today, this date in 1989, the soundtrack of Dirty Dancing hits Diamond. 10 million records sold. Ends at 42 million worldwide.
You guys both seen that one?
Dirty Dancing?
Yeah, the original one.
You guys, Thitoff, the odds of me seeing a movie in here that you have seen are probably 4 times that one that I've seen that you haven't.
It came out in 87. You were a very young pup at that point.
It's true. I did not see it live in theaters. I saw it probably in middle school with my girlfriend.
Okay. So I didn't know if you would, I didn't know if you would seek it out, Bob. 'Cause it was.
I didn't seek it out. Someone else sucked it out for me. I don't know.
Dirty Dancing.
Sought it out, if you will.
There we go. Yes. Have you seen it, Bodie?
I have not. Nope.
You've never seen Dirty Dancing?
Wow.
It's a classic, Bodie.
I've had the time of my life, though.
That's key.
You got the reference. Good.
Sought out by my girlfriend.
Sought out by your girlfriend. That was what you sought
sucked out. All the same. All of S's. This date, 1741. One of Thitoff's favorites, Benedict Arnold. One of the original traders to the country.
Most famous trader?
I don't know.
Brian
Brutus,
Kelly.
Brutus was
Judas,
Brian Kelly,
Art Modell. I mean,
yeah, we can't do that poll again. We've done those before.
Yeah, we got yelled at.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's it's for all the shows.
I would argue it is.
Who's the best trader? Most famous trader, not the best
What
one.
is the most famous trader?
What about the most? Actually, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Continue, Bob. Sorry.
All right.
I can't wait to hear what this was off the air.
Born on this date, 1919. TV star Andy Rooney.
I keep reading about the problems people have falling asleep and staying asleep nights. An organization called the National Sleep Foundation did a study, and it says that the economy is making people sleepless. I feel for all those people who aren't sleeping, but not sleeping is not my problem. I can sleep night or day, sitting, standing, or lying down. I often fall asleep right here at this desk. I try to go to bed early Saturday night so I don't fall asleep during the football game Sunday or while I'm on 60 Minutes. I hate when that happens.
Andy Rooney, one of a kind.
There we go. Born on this date, 1945, lost this legend last year. Some know him as Apollo Creed. Others know him as Chubbs. Some people remember him playing for the Raiders, Mr. Carl Weathers.
I'm the club pro here, Chubbs Peterson. And I'm offering to teach you how to play golf personally. For free.
No.
You have no idea who I am, do you?
No, I don't.
Back in 1965, Sports Illustrated said I was going to be the next Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, what happened?
They wouldn't let me play on the pro tour anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're black?
Hell no. Damn alligator bit my hand.
Oh, my God!
Yeah, tournament down in Florida. I hooked my ball in the rough down by the lake. Damn alligator just popped up. Cut me down in my prime. He got me. But I tore one of that bastard's eyes out, though. Look at that.
You're pretty sick, Chubbs.
Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
And then Rocky went and got him killed by Drago. Wouldn't throw the towel in.
That wasn't in that movie.
No, it wasn't that movie. I'm saying, but
that was Rocky 3.
Yeah, it was Rocky 3.
I know you've never seen 1 or 2.
Actually, that was Rocky 3 right there also.
So I said that was Rocky 3.
I know. I'm saying that same one though.
He gets Drago killed. Drago kills him in Rocky 4.
You're right. Yes, Rocky 4.
That's when he's training for Clubber Lang.
That's right.
Mr. T, if you will. Good job, Bodie, pulling both of those. Said there's so much good Carl Weathers between Rocky and Chubbs. Like, it depends on what you really enjoy and what you're really in the mood for, because very different types of movies. LL Cool J turning 58 today.
Do you guys know what LL Cool J stands for?
Ladies love Cool James.
Ladies love Cool James. That's right.
Kidding me with that?
Never knew that.
Enough?
What's that?
Kidding me with that?
I
mean, the questions you're asking today.
I think Ask You've Seen Dirty Dancing was a legit one.
Maybe.
And I don't know. I don't know your hip hop knowledge.
I reference it a lot in here, so.
Well, yeah, but maybe you've seen clips.
I don't reference clips. Reference the movie.
LL Cool J had a famous feud with what rapper? Do you remember that?
Oh, goodness. I don't know.
Cool Mo D.
There you go. Turning 57 today. Star of many movies. I'll definitely remember him most out of Dodgeball, Mr. Jason Bateman.
My name is Cotton McKnight.
Yes.
And with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Pepper Brooks.
Pepper Brooks.
Hey. They are going to the finals to play Globo Gym for $50,000. That'll buy you one heck of a bumpkin. Right you are, Pep. What do you think, Pep?
Cotton, hey, I spoke with White Goodman before today's match, and he told me that his team really wants to win this one.
Yes? No, I'm being told that Average Joe's does not have enough players and will be forfeiting the championship match.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Looks like it's going to be a 2-on-1, a menage a trois of pain.
Usually you pay double for that kind of action, Cotton.
This sport doesn't build character, it reveals it.
F&A, Cotton, F&A.
It looks like Peter LaFleur has actually blindfolded himself.
Yeah, he will not be able to see very well, Cotton.
I mean, his Pepper, I couldn't have named his, couldn't have pulled his name. I knew his co-host is Cotton because he I mean, Pepper Brooks, what a great name.
Was there a, is that a
have you
funny
ever
movie
seen
throughout?
Dodgeball?
No, I've never seen that.
Of course you haven't.
No, I'm saying, but like, is it a funny movie throughout, or just is it just got funny moments in it?
Just
like,
for the clips?
Do you laugh at, like, is it pretty good all the way through? Pretty funny?
I
all the
think
way
it's a
through?
good movie.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say it's one of the better ones in Vince Vaughn's catalog.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of ironies to it. I mean, there's a lot of, again, it's not just Vince Vaughn. I mean, that's the thing. Vince Vaughn's part of it being funny, but Ben Stiller's character is great. I mean, Jason Bateman's character is incredibly underrated.
Yeah.
Like, just listening to him. Usually you pay double for that type of action. God. Oh, so good.
Lance Armstrong cameo.
Lance Armstrong cameo. Patches O'Houlihan is amazing. The names in it, the writing, it's all the pirate. It's a lot. There's a lot of good stuff. You would enjoy it. You should maybe look into more than just the clips.
Is it? Well, now I've seen so many of the clips. I think now I feel like I've seen the movie. But is it already appropriate or not?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what he's seen. I mean, I'll just tell Artie to tell you to watch it, and then he'll say, "Dad, I want to watch this movie." And you'll say, okay, and you'll let him
roll over.
Yeah, 100%.
What I'll do.
Roll over. I mean, you're already on your back. He'll just stab you in the chest, finish you off.
Love you too, Bob.
Well, I mean, listen. Sometimes you have tough love, Thitoff. Born on this date, 1983. Former draft classmate of mine, 3-time Pro Bowler, and one heck of a football player, and unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, Mr. Vincent Jackson. Some passings today. Passing away on this date, 1984, Mr. Ray Kroc, the man who bought McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers and took it to what we know today. I was watching this video on Instagram about how they make chicken nuggets, and I don't know if I'll ever eat another chicken nugget the rest of my life.
There's a movie with...
oh, yeah.
Shoot, who is
Michael
that?
Keaton.
Yes. Yeah, that's
I haven't
pretty
seen
good.
that movie. I've seen clips.
Yeah.
Of course.
Listen to the actor.
When he buys it the first time. When he buys his first McDonald's hamburger.
Yeah.
And he's what they're staying.
Where am I supposed to eat this?
Yeah. So in
that
the
in the
park?
bag?
In the car?
Yeah, that kid seems a little too let's be honest, a little too happy to be working at a fast food restaurant.
Right, yes.
But
Yes. He also, Croc, owned the Padres for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he owned the Padres for a long time.
And Tony Gwynn was there?
Because I think he might. I don't know if he was still there when he owned him or not. He might have been, yeah. I think he might have been, yeah.
I'll give him some McDonald's to get him the diabetes.
Telling you.
Goes blind.
Hard to believe that guy stole 50 bases one year. Early in his career, Tony Gwynn did.
Robust fellow by the end.
Hell of a point guard in college, too, for San Diego State.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He got drafted baseball and basketball, both.
And then passing on this date in 1957, one of the legendary actors of all time, Humphrey Bogart.
It might be a good idea for you to disappear from Casablanca for a while. There's a free French garrison over at Brazzaville. I could be induced to arrange a passage.
My letter of transit? I could use a trip. But it doesn't make any difference about our bet. You still owe me 10,000 francs.
And that 10,000 francs should pay our expenses.
Our expenses? Mm-hmm. Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Good job out of you on that one, Bodie, pulling that one strong right there. One of his more iconic and famous clips. Seen that clip, Thitoff?
I've seen that clip, yes. I've never seen the movie. Have you seen the movie in its entirety?
What movie are you talking
Casablanca?
about? I have not, and that's one of my. It was one of my to-dos over the holiday season. I just never got around to watching it. Maybe I'll watch it this Saturday. There's going to be a lot of football. Well, football in the afternoon. Maybe I'll watch it earlier in the day. Start drinking earlier in the day. That might be a resolution to get started as well.
The not dry January.
I mean, who does? I mean, what are we talking about?
The other night I was talking to, we were hanging out with a couple of buddies, and the one asked my friend, "Are you still doing dry January?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, good for you." This was Sunday. He said, "You're still doing it?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I did have a bourbon last night, but other than that, though, yes, it's been dry."
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Drier.
Dryish.
Dryish.
Absolutely. Some holidays and observances today. It is National Dress Up Your Pet Day.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Who doesn't love a good dressed up pet?
I don't think I've ever dressed up any pet I've owned.
Yeah. Really?
I don't think I ever have.
Okay. Just curious. I mean, we don't really have any pets, so
Yeah,
nothing to really dress up.
Have you ever had, like, pets before? Like, what? Since you've been married, have you ever had?
No.
No?
I don't need any more responsibility in my life.
Well, when you were married, you didn't have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah,
You have more now.
My wife's not really a pet person. They didn't
Yeah.
have pets growing up. I did. I don't mind them, but I'm not going to take care of anything else. And I've got plenty to take care of as it is right now. It is Ratification Day as well. I'm guessing for the ratification of the Treaty of Paris, thus founding our country and getting it done. And World Logic Day as well. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date. Wednesday, January 14th, and 14th day of the year, and 351 days remaining in this 2026.
14, Pete Rose. There we go.
Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton, if I can say his name.
That's
right.
okay. Well done as always, General. Shadow of Shoe says the only thing I've done is put an OSU jersey on my German Shepherd.
There you go. German Shepherds are great.
My dad once said if animals needed coats or clothes, God wouldn't have gave them fur. So, yeah,
makes
I'm
sense.
on board with that.
I say anything about my good friend Jim DeTemple, who's got fur all over his body. Well, most places. I haven't seen his entire body, but he's like one of those guys that takes off his shirt and he still has a sweater on. He's that kind of guy.
Sounds nice.
Yes. Coming up next, a week ago, a coach was unexpectedly fired, and yesterday, someone from that same division also stepped down. We will do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, everybody, it's Berm here. Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. Listen, if you told me 4 weeks ago that I'd have lost 27 pounds, I would have asked you if I lost a limb. But here I am, 27 pounds down in 4 weeks and all my limbs intact, thanks to Awaken 180. Where'd that weight come from? My waist. I'm already down 3 notches on my belt. My face. Yeah, I can see my jawline. That's pretty cool. You don't gain 27 pounds in a week, so you don't really notice when the weight creeps on. But if you drop it quick, doing it the healthy way, you can watch 3, 5, or even 15 years of weight gain disappear just like that. The Awaken 180 app keeps me on track, and my coach, Mandy, ensures the weight keeps dropping off. But the results on the scale are the true motivation. I'm becoming a new me, and don't miss the old me or my approach to food and health. Well, maybe cheese on a burger, but that'll be back as soon as I'm on the maintenance part of the plan. That's the thing. You give up a tiny amount, in return, you get everything. Do what we all did and make your 180 with Awaken 180. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Every great team starts with a playbook, a plan to move the ball down the field and score. Your business, it's no different. Whether you're expanding, hiring, or upgrading equipment, you need a game plan to make every dollar count. And that's why it's important to have an experienced banking team on your side. Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, President of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they help local businesses design their winning playbook.
Thanks, Bobby. That's where Riverside Bank excels in our relationships with our clients. Our commercial banking team helps local businesses design winning strategies, from cash flow management to growth financing, so you're ready for every fourth quarter decision.
It's important to always have a plan and to never leave your business to chance. If you need help, call an audible with the team that knows your success and our success are closely aligned. Look for our new branch location at Bridge Park in 2026.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Miss Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
It's Morning Juice. Bob brought something up, and I want to make sure that I address it.
Well, Monday's show was entertaining.
I have found, and my wife would attest to this, if I don't eat enough, if I don't fuel my body, and
you think that's the problem?
Well, yeah, I've been told that's the problem.
You don't eat enough in life?
If I don't eat enough to fuel my body, and if I don't take my medication I got to take every day, that could have an effect like that. I've got my blood sugar monitor on right now, and so I'm trying to manage that. But that was my...
Wilford Brimley would have never let that happen.
So, to anybody who asked, there was a lot of questions in that. It was, good Lord, because some people wondered if I was intoxicated. That would take real dedication to the game.
There's people that I've worked with where that could have been the possibility. I don't know if Thitoff is in the physical shape to get drunk the night before, or even drink all the way still and then find his way down here and be able to do the show. So I think he would have passed out beforehand and not been able to wake back up.
I've addressed it with Fish. I made sure he was aware.
Oh, yeah.
And I've talked to you guys about it. And so, but it's about me taking better care of my needs, which sounds very sexual now that I said it out loud that way. It had nothing to do with that. I promise you that. But anyway, so
that's good.
I think I'm back on the chain gang now. I feel completely normal.
Yeah, you looked good yesterday.
I thought it was okay. Yeah.
And I was on, I don't know, 45 minutes of sleep.
About an hour of sleep. Actually, a little more than an hour because I made Adam drive the last hour. I tapped out and said, you know what, dude? I know you got to work at 5 a.m., but I need you to drive now. And I slept. After you stayed awake the entire time with me while I drove, I cashed out. I said, now we're done. I went to a restaurant there, Bob, that Adam always goes to.
Up.
And we get there to sit down and we're going to eat, and they come out and say, we're completely out of food.
What? There you go. That's good.
They had a grill out back where they had served brats, but it's like in the restaurant, there was no food left, and we found out that's because they were closing down the doors after that night.
It was the last day?
That was the last day of the restaurant. It was packed, and I guess they always do well for Steelers home games. It's right there by the stadium. But I was thinking that's pretty good management of the food, of the inventory.
Oh, I mean, you're going to get enough to make sure you have a decent amount to sell that day, but you don't want to carry anything else.
Yeah.
So they probably could have sold a little more, but
yeah,
or shut down a tad sooner. But
yeah, there you go.
So Mike Tomlin stepped down yesterday as head coach of the Steelers. had been there 19 years and no losing seasons at all. It was the second longest time a coach has gone without a losing season for one team, and the record was Tom Landry, who went 22 before he lost.
So 87?
87. Well, 87 was the strike
86.
year. So when did he come on board? He came on board in 60, so yeah, it would have been around that time. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, about that time.
It wasn't until his last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good even through the early 80s, the mid-80s.
So Tomlin steps down with the Steelers. All kinds of names being thrown out there. I know that one Marcus Freeman said that he's staying where he's at.
Thank God.
So, Bob, do you... Go ahead.
One Marcus to another. Marcus Freeman being championed by Marcus Spears on ESPN.
Oh, was he?
I
For
didn't
that?
see that.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Okay, so I heard the name Kurt Signetti thrown out there.
Yeah, why not?
Do you think the Steelers reach out to Ryan Day?
I don't know. I'm not sure what they're looking for. I mean, he would kind of fit, I think, the profile of what they would want because, I mean, this is a program who doesn't hire a lot of coaches. So the one thing like with Kurt Signetti and some of the guys that I've heard thrown out there is if you're older, I don't know if they're, I mean, I'm not saying like being in your 50s would be bad, but if you're in your 60s, like for Kurt Signetti, like how many more years are you going to coach?
Right.
You know, I mean, they don't hire coaches all that often. Hire them about once every 15 years.
Yeah, 69, they've had 3 coaches
Yeah.
since 1969.
So I don't think they're looking to bring in somebody who's going to be there for 5 to 7, where a lot of places like, hey, bring in whoever, let's go try to win, we'll figure it out. So like Ryan would be a younger guy who's got a lot of runway in front of him to continue to coach, so he would meet that profile. I don't think that they, offhand, I think that they would probably stick with an NFL guy.
Okay. That's because, Tomlin's only 53. And he said, looks like he's not going to coach next year. And maybe
so he got that job when he was, what, 25, 27? I mean, he was
a head coach. He was 34.
Or 30. That's what I meant. 34, not 24.
But I wonder if Day would entertain it. It's
I don't know. Maybe
it's a more it's the most stable franchise in the NFL when it comes.
They don't have a quarterback. They have an old defense and limited offensive weapons. So,
other than that, though,
how is that? Yeah, no, that's part of looking at.
And by the way, you're like pressed against the salary cap. On top of all that,
had the most expensive defense the last 5 years. Each year for the last 5 years,
23 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, to be 16. Fair, I think the offense gave up 2 of those scores.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
Yeah. And I wonder, it would be the most attractive coaching job from a ownership, from a stable franchise, better than I know the Falcons.
Is it better than Baltimore?
I don't think today.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's better right now today.
I mean, I would say that
Baltimore.
I would say that the ownership is. I mean,
pretty.
Harbaugh was there for the same amount of time, basically.
Yeah, so it may not even be for the next few years. I'm just saying, at least today with Lamar Jackson there, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think Baltimore is probably the best job available.
That's my point. Is they probably have equal stability.
Yeah.
And a good front office that drafts well for you, and you have a quarterback who's elite.
Do you think there's any chance in hell that John Harbaugh becomes the next Steelers head coach?
Did you hear Biscotti talk about this?
No.
So they asked him about hiring Mike Tomlin.
Right.
And he started laughing. He said, well, and not unless they hire John in Pittsburgh, I don't think. And then goes makes a joke and then goes on to talk about his reverence for Mike Tomlin. I don't think that that's going to happen. Because we talked about Pittsburgh. One of their profiles is someone that they can probably be there for 10 years.
Right.
John's 64 years old. Similar to Kurt Signetti, and as successful as he has been. And I don't think the Steelers want to hire somebody that's so closely associated with one of their rivals.
Also, too, on the age thing, I think whoever Pittsburgh does hire, you probably got to give them a runway here.
Yeah,
it's
going to take 2 or 3 years.
It's going to be even if it's not a long haul rebuild, it's going to take a couple years to reset the roster here a bit.
Yeah, you're not drafting a spot where you can get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft this year. Now you can always go for the kid from Alabama if you believe in him. He'll go later. I think the Rams will probably
had a lot
target
of
him.
Success drafting quarterbacks since Ben.
I know. You're right. I know they've had not just poor quarterback decisions.
It's amazing because if Kenny Pickett works out, like if he becomes really good, I think Mike Tomlin's still coaching there.
It's probably fair. Yeah.
When I was leaving the game with my buddy the other night, and I talked to some Steelers fans because I randomly talk to strangers all the time. A stranger's just a friend I haven't met yet. Anyway, Bob, we were discussing.
Some people think it's a numb hand.
Did
you pop your blisters?
No, I didn't pop them.
Okay. Then why'd you ask the opinion?
I asked your opinion because I wanted to get your knowledge on it.
Needed a second opinion.
I still need to pop them. I just didn't do it yet, but I'll pop them.
So busy yesterday, you couldn't find 30 seconds.
Wow.
You didn't think about it. Every time you picked something up with your hand, you didn't feel like there was like a bubble wrap sitting on top of your fingers?
No, it's pretty numb, actually.
That's my point.
You
can't feel it because you have dead skin on top of it, so you have no feeling.
What was I getting at? Oh, I know what I was going to say. So when you look at the situation, like we were walking out and I said, do you think anything tonight changed a decision about Tomlin? Like if he was going to be the coach next year or not be the coach next year, depending on did that game change, you think, or do you think it was already pretty much a foregone conclusion?
I think he was convicted coming into that game.
Yeah.
What was going to happen. Now, if they won, it's not like he was walking off after a win. He would have stayed with the team. But Adam Schefter brought this up, the fire Tomlin chants and all the things that were going on.
Right.
I think he's, looks around. It's like, all right, I've got Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. He's about my age.
Right.
I mean, not his age, but Aaron Rodgers is one of the few guys who's been in the NFL longer than Mike Tomlin.
Right.
He's been in the NFL longer than Mike Tomlin's been a head coach.
Yes.
Yeah. To clarify that. And you look at your defense, bunch of guys in their 30s.
Yeah.
And probably thinking, I could take this team and maybe do the same thing again with some luck and guys staying healthy. But what's our ceiling? The divisional round?
That's what I think their ceiling probably was, yes.
I mean, maybe they find a way to beat Houston, but they're probably not winning a second game. And you have a quarterback who's in his early 40s and everybody else on defense is incredibly highly paid, is in their 30s. So how much more do you have left?
Right. Yeah. Good, Bob.
I know, Pittsburgh is a franchise too, and you have to give Mike Tomlin a lot of credit for this, but I think you have to give the front office and whatnot a lot of credit for this too. They're a franchise that it's like, if we can get to 8 or 9 wins, we're going to try to get to 8 or 9 wins. Like, we're not going to bottom out.
Right.
And I respect that. But with that being said, is now the time to kind of do it, though. And it's not like you blatantly be like, you know what, we don't, just trade DK Metcalf. Like, no, he's in his mid to late 20s. Like, you don't need to ship off everybody and, like, tank. But you could be in a situation where you're going to have a new head coach, obviously. I'm guessing Rodgers retires. Is that...
He's not in Pittsburgh. I know that.
Okay. Fair.
I don't know if he retires. I would say that's the favorite in the clubhouse.
Okay.
But I don't want to rule anything out depending on what job opportunity is out there and what it looks like. So I think that there's still a possibility he could play.
And not that you want to ever bank on a next year's draft class too much, because a year ago right now we would have been like, oh, Arch and Cade Klubnik, and those guys aren't even, going to the draft or going to be drafted very highly. But if you look at it right now, you could be looking at a situation where it's if Dante Moore comes back, Julian Sayin, CJ Carr, it looks like a pretty strong quarterback class, at least right now, as we said, granted, 15 months from the 2027 NFL draft. But if there was maybe ever a time to be like, you know what, now's the time to reset. I don't know if Hayward's,
Hayward's like 37 years old.
Yeah, like he could just be done.
He can still play,
like,
but he's... Like those guys, that's the thing.
Or maybe, maybe you do cut him. I don't know what the financial, aspects of that would be. But maybe he's like, you know what, I'm kind of ready to move on. I'll play 1 or 2 more years at more of a contender. And like I said, I'm not saying you ship off everybody, but it feels like if there was ever a time to really reset the deck here, this is probably the time to do it. You don't want to become the Saints where you just feel like you're dying and doing everything you can to, like, quote unquote, improve your team. And it's like, here's 6 wins. Just go win 2 games at that point. Honestly, it's going to be better for the long haul.
And I don't know that they'll, like you said, tanking, but they'll probably start to purge that defense.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, guys like that who have been playing for 10 plus years that are making a lot of money. And it's fine. There are teams that value that. Teams that are in the window to win.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, they don't have a quarterback. They have limited offensive weapons. Their offensive line isn't great. I mean, and you spent all that money on defense, and your defense still wasn't great this year.
Yeah.
They were good, but in the biggest moments, they necessarily weren't as good as you needed them to be. So there's definitely a lot of questions in Pittsburgh about where to go from here.
The Steelers, next year you figure in the division, the Bengals and Ravens will both be improved. You would think if Bengals can stay healthy, they'll be improved. And they have to play also on the road against Jacksonville next year. Who else they got here? They host the Texans next year. They host the Colts. They host Carolina. They play at Tampa Bay, at New England. I mean, there's some teams on there a lot better than Pittsburgh is going to be next year.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder, like, what the – not knowing, again, who the coach is going to be, but will he be around for 10, 11, 12 years? You know what I mean? Like, or will they finally have a hire where it's like, this was the wrong guy? Because they haven't done it yet.
They'll give him plenty of rope and plenty of leash. Like, I don't think they're going to make any – because to Bodie's point, I think they understand where they're at right now.
Yeah.
And you got to think, they did all this and barely got in because they couldn't find a way to barely win a game down the stretch, but until the very final bell. But they did all of that with a Burrow-less Cincinnati.
Right.
You know, so Cincinnati probably should have been markedly better, and maybe they play better and pick them off, you know, a time. So it's not getting any easier for them. That's the point.
Yeah, they ended up. You look at some of the teams they lost. They lost that game to Cincinnati with Flacco in there. They lost that one, 33-31. They gave up 33 points to the Bengals offense. It was not nearly at full strength. But there were games, the loss to Cleveland, at Cleveland, when they only scored 6 points. That was a bad loss for them, yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
Right. So,
is this still the second best job, though, available, you think, behind Baltimore? Is that fair to say?
I would say this. I think it is the second best job, but it's one that is least likely to produce solid seasons early. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the job with Atlanta, regardless of what you think about Atlanta as far as the ownership and the history, they got a new coach. They'll have a new coach this year, but you've still got Penix, you got Bijan Robinson. You know, you still
having Penix a good thing.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure if having Penix or even like J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, I don't know if those are good things for those coaching staffs, but I think that it is going to be the one that's going to probably take one of the longest of the ones that are open to rebuild. Let
me ask you this. You're getting the number one pick if you go to Vegas.
Right.
Like, do you feel more comfortable there? And that's probably how good or bad you feel about Mendoza, right? But that's, what do you think there, like Vegas versus Pittsburgh? Because obviously Pittsburgh is far and away, like,
more stable better
franchise and everything there. But
I would say Vegas is probably in a better situation because if you look at this quarterback class, I mean, outside of Mendoza, I'm not sure who I really like.
If Moore goes back to Oregon, which it seems like that's pretty plausible at this point, especially after that last game,
right?
Like, there's a pretty big drop off after Mendoza.
And so they're picking one, so they can take that guy. I think they also have some decent draft capital. I think Tom is trying to get the organization to be more stable. They just got to make sure they hit on their coaching staff hires. If they do that, I think they'll be fine.
And the Raiders are hiring their fifth coach in 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. We still know they're paying $50 million to guys who don't coach there anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not for lack of effort.
Well, it's not as stable. Yes, the Vegas though. That's where I would think if you believe in Mendoza, then yes, it's a much more attractive job, and it's set up to win sooner. They have win sooner is hard because it's a really tough division they're in. But they're in as well with Denver and with the Chargers and, well, with the aging Chiefs, I guess. But, I would say it's probably more attractive if you believe in the quarterback or if you believe that I want to go there and send that number one pick to somebody else and try to get wouldn't be a Herschel Walker type haul, but get a significant haul back, knowing that you can fill a few needs early on and figure out the quarterback thing there. Because I'm not, look, anymore, I know Drake may hit. I know that Jaden Daniels was a hit. Bo Nix, I know those guys they were all hits for these people. But I still would much rather find a free agent quarterback that I believe in, that I've seen tape on at the NFL level.
Who are those guys?
I think I'm trying to think who'd be available. I look see who'd be available right now. I'm saying, but I'd rather have a free agent though that's done some stuff elsewhere. Like
Sean Watson might be available.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold is a guy who, I know he's not a free agent this year. But that's somebody like I look at though and think I'd rather have somebody like that if they're available. Who's the former Patriots quarterback, Mac Jones?
I don't know if I'd have Mac Jones.
Yeah.
He looked decent this year when he played.
It's okay.
I think that's Kyle Shanahan.
It's him. It's
turning water into wine on that.
All right. Coming up next, we'll hit you with some quick hitters. Morning Juice.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here 4 hours.
This is Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area and will help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, Bodie, do your thing.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, guys, happy Wednesday. We'll start here, college football. We have seen a whole lot of change in the sport in some recent seasons between name, image, and likeness, conference realignment, college football playoff expansion, and more. And the coaches, if it's up to them, we'll see another change happen in the near future because on Tuesday, FBS coaches voted unanimously to adjust the redshirt rule that would allow players to participate in up to 9 games and still preserve the year of eligibility. Right now, it's just 4 games, including the postseason. This would be 9 games and include the postseason. Any change would still need approval from the NCAA Division I committee. Bobby, the idea of a 5-for-5 rule has been floated, I've seen, which would allow players to be able to play 5 years in a 5-year window. No red shirts, nothing. You got 5 years to play however much you play in those 5 years, and then you're done. This is kind of along the same lines, I feel like. If you can play up to 9 games in a season, you're darn near playing the whole year. Do you like this idea?
So here's the thing. If you're going to draw a line, it depends on where you're going to draw it. And so they used to draw it at 4. And then it was kind of any time, first 4. And then it was kind of any time. And now and then the postseason didn't count. And now it's like, hey, 9. I mean, so you can't play in 3 games?
Yeah.
I mean, are we really going to make a delineation on that?
Yeah.
Just say 5-for-5 at this point. And the reason why the coaches did it is because there are guys that come to them and say, well, I've played in my 4 games now, or I want to sit and I don't want to play because I may want to get red-shirted so I can get in the portal and have all this eligibility left. So I get it. I understand why they're doing it. It does make sense if that's what they want. I'm not against it, because all the exemptions and everything you had to look at to get those extra years, just I guess give them to everybody and move on.
I read the article, Bob, and
it's good.
Thank you. Cliff Notes version. But no, I read the article, and whatever rule they have, it doesn't even matter anymore. Because
what do you mean?
What I'm saying is they can approve this. They can say this is the rule we're going to have and everything, but people will still sue, get extra years. I think you'll still see. Like I don't believe in any rule they have as being that steadfast.
I feel like if
you read the article, it's talked about in the article of the people trying to get the extra 6 years.
Right.
Most of those have been declined, and people that have been to court have struggled with that.
But we've got guys who've gotten 7 years.
Yeah, but those were all COVID years. Those are things that happened prior. I'm talking about in the last year.
Yeah, last year. Okay, but I
was in the article.
I got that, Bob. I saw it in the article. I think about
why didn't you reference it as part of you said they'll sue and they'll just let them do whatever they want. The guys have sued and they've been having less success lately.
My point, though, Bob, is that not many things the NCAA does has any teeth anymore. Yeah. And so I just wonder if that's why when I see something like I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, they're actually looking at opening it up, not restricting it more.
I understand that, Bob.
So
the fact it was unanimous, all said about half of the 136 FBS coaches were there. Freeman was there, Kirby Smart, among others. Dabo was there as well.
Dabo.
Yeah,
City feels like a Vegas wedding chaplain.
So, anyway, there's going to keep being changes like, in college football, specifically with college sports. And so, if this gets, unanimously approved and all stuff and ends up going into effect immediately and all of that, I wonder how long before that changes. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, with how much there's been the realignment and, the talk of expanding the playoff and all these things, like nothing seems to be permanent at all in college football beyond a year or two.
I know you can kind of sue the NCAA for anything and got a decent chance of winning, I guess. But Carp, couldn't this be something that they honestly put into words and say you have 5 years,
and that's
a 5-year
why
window to play, and I don't care. It's not to. It sounds harsh to say, but I don't care if you miss 4 years because you tear your ACL in the first game of the first 4 seasons. You have your 5th year to play, and you're done. Period.
Yeah.
That could be something that they can
I think that's what
get.
they're trying to do is listen, this isn't our rulings. These aren't independent judgments that we make on an idiosyncratic basis for different cases coming through. Everybody coming in, I think you have 5 to play 5. It used to be 5 to play 4. Now, play all 5. It's fine if you want it. You don't need to take it. You can still leave after 3. But now we're not getting in the subjectivity of who deserves this, who deserves that. This is what it is. There's no 60 years. JUCO years, D2 years, all those years count. This is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, we talked to Bjork about this before, though, Bob. We had him on about he thinks we're headed towards that super league model where they will all they'll make their own rules and they'll be enforced by someone who oversees the entirety of them. So that day can't get here fast enough. And I'm sure Ross feels the same way, but have the power leagues established with their own rules that they agree will be enforceable.
After announcing last week that he was declaring for the NFL draft, Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson continued to receive NIL offers from major programs around the country to transfer in and play one more season of college ball this coming fall, but he reportedly remains committed to heading to the NFL. On3 reported on Tuesday that Simpson fielded offers between $4 million and $6.5 million for next year. The report claimed that Miami, Ole Miss, and Tennessee all made initial offers of that $4 million number, and then the Volunteers pushed their offer up to $5 million, and Miami said, we'll go to $6.5 million. But Tito, he's still heading to the NFL, and with the odds of him likely being a first-round pick, especially if Dante Moore stays at Oregon, I think over the long haul, he'll make that money in the NFL if he's a first-rounder.
He will. I think that it will...
6.5?
Not in his first year.
You're getting that in 1 year.
Right.
And you got a chance to be on a better team, put some better tape. Now, maybe he just wanted to be a Bama guy. And didn't want to be one of the people that bounce around and do everything else. And I respect that if that's the case. But $6.5 million to play college football, for one season.
And it would be a senior year.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be like, he's not one of these guys that's like, I'm 23, I need to go to the NFL.
Right.
He's still...
You look at it, though, Bob.
And he had a good year relative to everything that had happened. But
I would contend he's going to go to a better situation in the NFL if he comes out this year.
Why?
Because I think he'll get drafted later in the first round. And I like I say, I've seen him linked to the Rams as being the heir apparent to Stafford.
I give zero credence to mock drafts, but sure.
Well, I'm just saying that, Bob, he wouldn't be the second quarterback taken, I don't believe.
Who would be?
Well, let's say Moore would be. If
he goes back, then who is?
It probably is Simpson, but I don't know if someone's going to spend a second, third, or fourth pick overall on him.
Yeah.
I think he was slipped to the middle of the draft. And Bo Nix getting picked where he got was great for Bo Nix.
Yeah.
He was not one of the first couple of quarterbacks taken, was not a high draft pick. He was he 10th? Is that what he was? McCarthy was 10th, right?
12th.
I think Nix was 12.
Okay.
He was the last.
12th. And so you look at, he got to go to a much better situation than I would say that Penix is in. I would think his situation going where he went was better for him. And so that's why I contend that if you go, and I've always said this, Bob, that if you go later, you get to a better team.
Yeah, you make less money. So there's that. And that's not always the case. I mean, there could be a team that has multiple draft picks. The Dallas Cowboys could trade up. After winning a Super Bowl, could trade up to package to go get you. I mean,
I think they need a little more help on the other side of the ball, Bob.
And you look, I mean, Jaden Daniels went to Washington, and they went to the NFC Championship in his second season. So that's part of it, but doesn't mean that getting drafted lower versus higher is going to instantly be better for you.
I actually misspoke there. I'm sorry. This past season that he just finished up, Simpson that was his fourth year at Alabama. I thought it was only his third. So he didn't play literally
for 2 years.
For almost 3, frankly. Yeah. And then he was the starter here this past season. Let me get back over to my quick hitters here. Continuing the theme here, guys. College football quarterback news. We had some major quarterback portal dominoes fall in the last few days here. Arizona quarterback Sam Leavitt, he has landed in Baton Rouge with new head coach Lane Kiffin. He also visited Miami, Kentucky, and Tennessee before he chose the Tigers. So after missing out on him, Miami and Tennessee went to Simpson and said, hey, how about we up that offer a little bit more? And then former Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola, he's heading out west, but will still be in the Big Ten as he's joining the Oregon Ducks. He could redshirt this season if Dante Moore does return to school for his senior year, and he would kind of do what Dante Moore actually did. Dante transferred in from UCLA, redshirted behind Bo Nix, and then has obviously turned himself into a first-round pick either this spring or next. Carp, big get for LSU, it seems like there, especially beating out schools like Miami and Tennessee. And then Raiola, he's kind of assuming Moore comes back. He's looking to, frankly, just reset his career a little bit here and try to live up to the potential that he had coming out of high school.
He's been to a lot of schools, played for a lot of places. Raiola, I mean, you start looking at all the high schools and colleges he's played at, kind of wild. Moore started a lot as a freshman. Goes to Oregon,
sits. I think he started about half the year with
I think he
Chip
started
Kelly
5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, transfers out and sits for a year. It'd be wild to see that, because it's one thing to do that after your freshman year. Raiola's played a lot of football.
Yeah.
Now, he's coming off a broken fibula, but that's not insurmountable. Yeah, he should be ready to go here in couple weeks, if not ready to go right now. So I'm just curious. When he went there, I was like, well, I thought that meant Dante Moore was gone for sure. But the longer this goes, the more inclined I'm to believe he's going to come back. But I guess if you have this new redshirt rule, if this thing gets passed and you can play 9 games, what does it matter anyway?
Yeah, Raiola, he does need a reset. Is what he needs. He needs and maybe sitting for a year and then playing for Oregon would work out well for him. His best interest there.
I wouldn't bet. I don't know that I love betting on him, but Oregon has twice now taken guys who, frankly, weren't very successful at their first stops. I mean, Bo Nix was kind of a bust at Auburn, and then they helped get him into a first-round pick. Dante Moore didn't play enough to probably be a bust at UCLA, but he was a 5-star coming out, and his freshman season was fine at UCLA.
Right.
And they've obviously helped turn him into a first-round pick, so they've kind of had the blueprint. I don't know that I would bet on Raiola continuing the theme, but Oregon's shown that they can do it.
Yes, they have shown that, and they are quarterback rehab is what they've done.
So,
So.
Nick Saban used to bring in broken coaches and turn them into head coaches. Oregon, I guess, is, hey, if you were a former 5-star and it didn't work out, come on to Eugene. Yeah. He's going to get paid probably, I would guess, at least high 6 figures. If Moore comes back, I'm guessing Raiola is still getting mid to high 6 figures to sit for a year.
Yeah, I would say.
And like you said, Bob, if that 9-game redshirt rule passes, he'll still get plenty of time, even if it isn't mop-up duty. And then he would still have 2 more years to play.
I'm guessing he's getting 7 figures.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably fair. But I was trying to guess the floor there. But you're probably right on that.
The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof. Thank you, MJ, for that one. That's it for Quick Hitters. Coming up next, Ross Bjork spoke to Adam King and Tim Hall yesterday. We'll hear what he had to say and also give some news on an Ohio State player leaving and a couple that already left. We'll do all of that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're ready there for your free consultation. So go check them out today. New year, new you, new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus, and the deals are built tough. Drive home the all-new 2026 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% financing for up to 48 months. Need more muscle? The 2026 Toyota Tundra delivers with 2.99% financing for up to 72 months, or take $3,000 in customer cash. Germain Toyota has the truck and the deal you've been waiting for. Shop today at Germain Toyota of Columbus, where selection, value, and trust come standard. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
A little bit of news yesterday, Bob. Max Clare, tight end for Ohio State, headed off the NFL. And I wouldn't say Clare had a disappointing year. I know his numbers weren't what they were at Purdue, but there's a lot more weapons at Ohio State, so you had to expect a dip in numbers. But I think Ohio State still, the thing they do really well, one of the things they do really well, is coach up tight ends on blocking. You know what I mean?
They develop a well-rounded tight end, and that's when he got here. He was not a very adept blocker. And I think he developed as a route runner as well. They didn't utilize him as much as I think a lot of people would have liked. When you have elite receivers, it's tough. But you look later in the year when the receivers were hurt. I think UCLA he had 7 catches, maybe.
Was that
Rutgers? One of the two.
Might have been Rutgers.
One of those final 2 games when guys were out. JJ and Carnell were hurt. Then they went to him, and he looked really good. So he's got all the ability. They know it. He has film from Purdue. He's got film from here. And his film from here may not be as statistically as impressive, but I guarantee you it's probably more impressive from a holistic gameplay perspective.
I feel like there should be a scale there, Bob, because I think 35 catches at Ohio State as a tight end is equivalent to 55 somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's it's worth that kind of thing. And then also, Mon Graham's going to Notre Dame. He's going to join Quincy Porter, another former Buckeye receiver. Bodie as resident Notre Dame expert assistant to Steve Kerr. Your thoughts on
assistant to the
assistant? Yes. Your thoughts on that?
They're definitely betting on the potential over production. Last year, the Irish brought in a couple receivers from Wisconsin and Virginia who were seniors, and I think Will Pauling might have even been a fifth-year senior, and Malachi Fields and Pauling that had a ton of production at their previous stops. Graham and Porter, little to none, frankly. But the backup wide receivers at Ohio State are worth gambling on.
Oh, yeah.
So as they kind of reset the wide receiver room there a little bit because the Irish lost most of their production outside of Jordan Faison there. I like what they're doing.
Yeah, I think so. Bob, were you surprised at Graham leaving and not coming back? Or
he really didn't play a ton.
Right.
I thought he's a supremely talented kid, very great route runner, looks really good. There's a reason why he wasn't playing. I think they would have gotten him in more if they could have, but obviously you got great players around you, but I do think that there are some things that he could have been better at. We'll see if he can improve upon those at Notre Dame and become the player that he was supposed to be. Because you watch him run routes, he reminds me, of Chris Olave, the way he runs. He's super smooth. He's very good, but I know that Hartline didn't really pursue him at South Florida. Not to say that you would go to Notre Dame over South Florida over Notre Dame, rather, but I don't think that there was an intense pursuit of that, and I think that was by design by Brian. So there might be something there, and I don't think he's a bad kid, a bad young man. There's reasons why guys don't play, and I think even more so than maybe the guys that are in front of him, because I liked Milan a lot. He looked good during training camp, but he does make some mistakes from time to time.
He's
also a Fort Wayne kid, so going to Notre Dame makes a lot of sense for him.
I forgot he was a Fort Wayne kid. Bob,
did you ever know that he was a Fort Wayne kid?
I'm sure I knew about it. I'd forgotten he was from Fort Wayne. Yeah.
I had no idea where he was from until it was mentioned to me the other day. So,
are you surprised Ohio State is not more active in the portal right now addressing needs, or is it about what
do you
think?
mean?
Well, I think they have offensive line needs. I know they've addressed part of it. I think this gives them
a couple of safeties.
A couple of safeties.
And a couple of defensive linemen.
They then where do you think, though, is the biggest hole right now on this roster?
Well, I think you probably look at some offensive line.
Right.
Try to figure that out. Maybe you look at running back, given the guys that have gotten in the portal. Bo Jackson is going to be coming back, so that's great.
Right.
But supplement him maybe a little bit in West.
Ross Bjork spoke to Adam King and Tim Hall, and this was yesterday. Ross Bjork talked about what is frustrating to him.
The frustrating thing is we can't get our arms around the money piece, and we can't govern that piece because we'll probably end up back in a courtroom. And we all thought the house case settlement was going to capture enough of the upside. We were all worried about how are we going to pay for $20.5 million? Well, now we're trying to create third party, and we have here, to go way above that. So we have a soft cap, essentially. So to me, we've got to really look at, can we truly govern the money anymore? And should we worry about that? Should we just make it an open market? And then on the structural pieces, here's the things we can do. And this is where we might need federal legislation, is we can make sure that this is still about academics, have academic rules. We can do our calendar a lot better. We can probably categorize employment in some manner around these athletes and, get some federal oversight from that standpoint. We need to make sure that we're protected from not being in the courtroom every single time we make a rule. We could probably have some recruiting structure. We could probably get that codified through Congress. But anytime we try to codify the money, it leads to this.
So the money thing, yes, that's going to continue to be a huge thing for these rosters and for these schools as far as that. I heard him mention the academic part of it, and I don't know, Bob, do you think that...
They still have to get into school. You still technically have to be eligible.
Right.
Like, all those things matter. They matter more at some schools than others, but they're a thing.
Do you think it's tougher now or easier for athletes to stay? I know that not a lot of players aren't eligible anymore. There's not like the Reggie Germany situation. I haven't heard anything like that for quite some time. But are you was it easier, you think, to be successful academically when you were there, or was it harder then compared to now, do you think?
Well, what are you trying to do? Like, you trying to have a meaningful degree and everything? I think it's probably harder now.
Right.
If you hop 3 schools, you're going to have a real hard time graduating with any type of substantive degree.
Sure.
You can get a degree from there, but is it something that's going to be worth anything? Did you learn anything along the way? So, yeah, it's definitely harder now.
One of the things also Ross talked about was the inevitably of the jersey patches.
Everything we're talking about, right? How do we generate more? And Ohio State's the biggest brand. And so, yes, we are talking to people in the market. The rule, actually, as we sit here on Tuesday, the rule at the NCAA convention there are still some rules that still live with the NCAA. Jersey patch is one of them. May get passed this week. We anticipate it getting passed, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. And then hopefully we can talk to the right people.
There you go. Jersey patches. That's what everybody's been looking for.
Wendy's.
That's what I was going to say.
On the logo, right on the chest.
Do you think, Bob, who would be the perfect partner for Ohio State with a jersey patch?
I don't know. Some Columbus-based company.
I was trying to think which ones would be viable options for something like that. Because obviously, look, the old school fans are going to get ticked off about it because it's some of their selling that goes on the jersey. We all saw
ask
it come
people
and
this:
go.
which would you rather do? Pay more for your season tickets or have a jersey patch?
Do you think that the jersey patch
Why
will
why does nobody answer that question?
Okay, I'd much rather know.
It's kind of rhetorical, but not as much. Like, when people want to sit there and yell, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to pay any more for my season tickets.
Right.
So just put a patch on the jersey.
You said, so you feel very strongly that if the patch thing didn't happen, there would be a bigger increase in season ticket prices.
Well, they got to get money from somewhere.
Sure.
So you're going to charge me somewhere else. So just put it on the jersey.
One other thing I wanted to get, and by the way, yes, I assure you, Tim Hall was in that interview. You're not hearing his voice at all, which I know you're probably used to hearing his voice when Tim's doing anything. But here is Ross Bjork talking about the state of the men's basketball program.
Look, we signed an unbelievable player, right? And Anthony Thompson, right? We got another commitment in the next class. We're doing really well, but resources, right? We need to continue to find more, and we're giving basketball, as much as we can. We need to have a great atmosphere in the Schottenstein Center. And right now, again, back to the consistency, we're not consistent there, right? So those are all the things that we're working on. We're working with Coach on a constant basis because we want to be competitive. That's important. We're good in a lot of sports.
I know it's me shouting at the cloud with raising my fist, saying, get out of the shot. I'd like to have a better...
Where do you want them to go?
Bobby, I'm not saying they need to go somewhere. I'm saying when I look at the shot, though, based on what I used to see at St. John Arena.
Okay, that was 20 plus. It was almost 25 years ago now.
I get it. But I think that most people who had been in both environments.
That are over 50 years old.
Would say, though, that the atmosphere for Ohio State basketball games back then is better than it is now.
Yeah.
And so, I know you said 20-plus years. I can't. It would have been
98.
98. Okay, so we're looking at 28 years
we're getting
almost.
Close to 30.
Right.
Good news is for the shot, it's still not paid off yet. So you want to get out of there before they're even done with it.
Okay, so that's the. But
what do you want to do? Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm done with people bringing problems without a potential solution. So provide to me the solution.
I don't have the solution, Bob.
Okay,
I'm not sure
you're
what.
Not allowed to complain.
No, I'm not sure. I can't. I can complain, Bob, about the atmosphere there.
You can,
right?
There's
complain about anything.
You can complain about anything, but you're not going to get anything done. Telling somebody a problem, everybody knows the atmosphere is bad.
Then
that doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. What are we going to do about it? That's the solution. That's the solution part.
That's what I was going to ask you. I knew it said it's not paid off yet, but it's not paid for yet. But I'm trying to look around campus. Is there a spot?
Build another one?
I'm asking. Yes. Is there another spot around?
We're trying to You're trying to pay all this money to players. They still need a new football building.
Sure.
And you're worried about building a new basketball arena?
I was asking if there was a place around campus there that could actually serve as that. 'Cause I still miss St. John Arena. I know. I know they're never going back there, and they can't go back there. I get all that.
They've renovated. It's been gutted. It's
right.
The biggest weight room in the country now.
That's right. It is. Yeah. Last time I was in there, that's what they were doing. They were working out in there and lifting weights and whatnot. But I think it's a fair thing that fans. I think it's a fair thing that would help out the basketball team if they were in a different type of environment, a different arena of sorts.
You know what's amazing is back from 2006 to 2012, I don't remember anybody really complaining all that much about it.
I'm trying to think back.
You know why?
They were good. Yeah.
Yeah, people went.
Odin Conley, Daquan Cook.
Everybody showed up. The problem is when you have 10,000 people in a 17,000 seat arena, it doesn't look very good. You have 16,000 people in a 17,000 seat arena. It looks really good.
So
how do you get those last 6,000 people? You win games.
Yeah, that certainly would help out. No doubt about it. That would definitely help out.
So is it the environment or is it the fact that the product hasn't been very good?
I would say yes.
There you go.
I think it's probably both. That's on what that is. So
the environment has been poor because the product hasn't been all that great.
I'm trying to think of the last time I went and really felt energy in the building. It probably would have been, the last game of the Odin Conley era, last home game when they played Wisconsin, where it was a 1 versus 2.
There you go.
And I was sitting in the very last row up at the top. But, you're right, Bob. The product has to improve, but I'm just saying I'm not a big. It's always felt to me like it's too spread out.
Yeah, it's a professional arena.
Right, I know.
That's what it is.
And I just think when I go back and look at St. John days, that's all. I remember being at St. John Arena and feel like I was going to fall over the rail when I was up there.
St. John's a great venue.
Yeah.
It's historic. I love watching it. If I was the women's team, I would play there for sure. I would have lobbied to play there for a long time because it's a much better place for their size, and I'd probably play half the men's games there. But the reality is, 28 years ago, they opened up this other arena that people are still complaining about.
Right.
And there's no viable solution to how to solve that problem other than putting a good product on the field or court.
Here is Ross Bjork talking about the NIL approach for Ohio State.
I know we're being extremely aggressive in the portal, in the retention, in the money, in the sponsorship, in support from the community. We have an amazing apparatus here, and it's being very well equipped, very well supported. And then Mark Pantoni and Logan Hiddle and Coach Day and all of our staff, we sit down and say, okay, these are the negotiation points that we make, and then the athlete decides, do I want to come there or not? They decide. We can't force anybody. We can't make anybody. Or they say, you know what, I can get more value over here, and we say, okay, great.
I don't think enough credit gets paid for what Pantoni brings. It's very much behind the scenes. You don't hear his name talked about much, and I think it's that's why I think it's he gets underappreciated for what all he does. Do you get that sense as well?
That he's underappreciated?
Yes,
I appreciate him.
Do you think that
people at large do? Probably. Yeah. I think the majority of Ohio State people know who Pantoni is and that he's largely responsible for a lot of the roster.
Right.
I don't know if he when he walks around, people pull out the palm leaves and, fan him.
What if they should?
But I think he does a good job. I think he gets the respect for that, and he's been doing a really good job. It's interesting. I had someone message me the other day that said, should they bring in an NFL GM, since Pantoni doesn't have that experience? I'm like, dude, they've been doing this for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's done a pretty good job at trying to manage it and handle it. So I think he's doing a very good job, just to follow up on Ross's point with that.
When you look at the NFL organizations, and there's a lot of talk about how important is a relationship between the coach and the GM to make sure they're aligned in what they want to do. And that's why, when you look at what they were able to accomplish at Ohio State with Day and Pantoni, a similar thing there. But it's I can't imagine, I don't want to say the headaches, but the minute details that go into all this NIL stuff when you're talking to players, when Day's trying to re-recruit his own players and whatnot. It's
that's probably one of the more underrated parts of Mark Pantoni's job now, is maintaining your own roster and everything that's going on there.
And they've done a pretty good job of that, I would say, over the last couple of years. I've said this before. I can't think of many players Ohio State's lost that I've been like, what are they going to do about that? Yeah. Claire, I wish Claire would stick around another year, but I totally get it. He'll probably be a first or second tight end selected, I would think.
Yep, he'll be one of the top ones out there, so that makes sense for him to leave if he feels like he's done with college.
All right, coming up next, Austin Ward's going to join us. We'll get the latest, the scoops from him. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're already there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
It's Bobby. It's Tito. It's Bodie. It's this guy.
a guy who considers himself the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, who holds the shuffleboard record at the Ranger, and most impressive, the commissioner of the Central Ohio two-man scramble league. Here's Austin Ward.
There he is, the handsome Austin Ward joining us here, Morning Juice. Good morning, Austin. Are you hearing anything about other potential transfers that are close on Ohio State's radar that we could see announcements on anytime soon here?
There's still a lot of activity going on, Tito. Yes. I think, are they at the finish line? No, there's been a little bit of a lull from a couple days here without visitors. That's going to pick back up on Thursday into this, sprint to the finish where all these players that are entering the portal, they have a deadline to declare by Friday. And then, school is going to be back in session. I know that sounds like an antiquated notion. That's still part of this. You need to be able to get into. So you don't have to, even if you are in the portal by Friday, you don't have to make your decision about where you're going exactly by then. But the timeline will be sped up to make sure that you are in place so that you can enroll in colleges, get into programs for winter conditioning, make sure that you're in place for spring ball. So, these visits that are going to happen on Thursday or throughout the weekend, should be sort of the finalized approach to this class. But, if you get someone on campus, especially if you're in Ohio State's situation, more often than not, that tells you that those things are near a deal, but nothing as we sit here on Wednesday morning do I think is, at least there's no stories prepped at Letterman Row. I know that.
Very, very interesting as we talk to our guy, Austin Ward from the A and B, Austin and Berm live show, Snappy Jays, all of the best, all of the stuff that's out there. Give us some insight and shed some light on the Bo Jackson happenings over the last week.
Yeah, so I give a lot of credit to everyone involved, and I don't assign any blame.
Oh, I like that.
I think
like Michael Scott, all the credit and none of the blame.
It's honestly how I think it's supposed to work, Bob. And you and I had talked about it on Monday, and you said, because I feel like everyone can come away feeling good about it and happy, and you said, well, if it's a good negotiation, both sides should be a little bit unhappy, and I think we can look at this and maybe both of those things can be true, but this is the ideal outcome, I think, for Bo Jackson. I think it's certainly a more than acceptable outcome for Ohio State. He earned a raise. He bet on himself. I mean, he came in on a lesser deal at this time a year ago. He was coming off of an injury as a high school senior. Weren't sure how much he was going to contribute in spring ball. Ohio State had added C.J. Donaldson and had James Peoples back, and that was what almost all the conversation was about Ohio State's backfield. Bo Jackson impressed once he got that full clearance in workouts. Had a pretty impressive spring, not one that I was anticipating. I don't know that anybody was really anticipating. Some of the Student Appreciation Day scrimmages, I remember distinctly some of the plays that he was making, a touchdown he scored, red zone success that he was having. Was really good then. And then fast forward to the end of the year, he's Ohio State's starting running back for a team that went undefeated in the regular season. Still, he's playing through, I guess, a little bit more of an injury, upper body injury than we knew at the time. One that now will keep him probably limited throughout this spring. But all that's to say, Bo Jackson had certainly enhanced his market value nationally. And, I think in terms of being a returning starter in an Ohio State or a native of Ohio, would justifiably think that he had an opportunity to use that leverage in conversation with the Buckeyes, and he did. So nothing wrong with that, but that's, as far as I can understand, the nearest that Ohio State came to losing a starter in this transfer portal window thus far. I'll knock on wood here. I don't want to jinx that for anybody with 2 days to go. But, those negotiations are not fun for anybody. And there were times, like most notably like late Thursday night, where Ohio State said, this is the threshold, and Bo Jackson said, this is what I want. And it felt like a separation was very likely at that time. But they came together the next day, set some of that aside, made a reasonable offer that both sides could accept with that sort of like one last gasp effort, and they got it across the finish line. And I think that that's a really good thing. That's how that process is supposed to work.
So maybe an area that is a little of concern. Caden McDonald, very good this year on the defensive line. But you look at the departures into the portal. I believe Ohio State only has 3 defensive tackles, led by Edric Houston, returning Will Smith in there as well.
Yep.
All 3 of last year's guys are in the portal. I mean, there seems to be a depth issue there right now. Are they actively working to combat that? Is that a concern to you at this point?
I think it's a shift. They picked up John Walker. He was one of the first, big, strong, nose tackle guys that could potentially replace Caden McDonald. They've worked as well this week to address the defensive line. They might be able to find a solution in there amongst that combination of Quay Russaw and James Smith from Alabama, a couple former 5-stars. One is obviously more of an edge. The other is a potential defensive tackle. The numbers are not, they're staggering to look at, but this applies to a number of positions, Bob, where Ohio State is moving towards an NFL-sized roster and an NFL number of contributors, and that's not been the way that they have operated in the past. And they have to allocate those resources towards people who can actually play immediately. And that has led to hard conversations about, you look at someone like Jarquez Carter. I was, really, he played against Texas as a true freshman. It's not as if anybody doesn't like his upside or his potential, but there's both the NFL roster size and salary cap conversation going on, as well as I think Matt Patricia may be reshaping what he is looking for in this defense. And that's, fast forwarding to the defensive coordinator and his potential NFL offers. Right now he is the defensive coordinator at Ohio State. And if he's going to stay that, and even if he's not, he's still got to do his job while he's here. He doesn't just get to say, you know what, transfer portal window's open, there's visits going on, Ohio State's trying to plan for the future, but I got to plan for my future. I'm not going to be involved. He's been hosting and dealing with a lot of the transfer portal visitors staying put in the Woody over the last week and a half and working very hard. And assuming that he's going to stay, this is what he would want to do. I think you're going to see a transition maybe to more 3-down and odd fronts than we've seen in the past from Ohio State. And then that puts you in a spot where you're looking for slightly different body types and athleticism, primarily at defensive tackle, than Ohio State has recruited and played for a very long time. So I think all those pieces are sort of moving at once, Bob. Does that mean you have to feel 100% certain about it and not have any concern? No. But it does feel like it is by design.
So, Austin, the lack of a offensive coordinator being hired and some of the, I don't want to say uncertainty, but some of the questions about Matt Patricia is going to be back next year or not, how has that affected anything, or has it affected anything regarding the transfer portal?
I don't think it's affected anything. Like I said, with Matt Patricia, he's continued to show up every day and do his job. So, Ohio State from the top, Ross Bjork, Ryan Day, they feel like the Buckeyes will be able. They're putting an offer out. It's not that hasn't happened yet, but they would be willing to escalate on that if need be. If Matt Patricia gets an actual contractual offer in front of him with a larger number than what Ohio State has talked about to this point, I feel pretty confident that Ohio State would match that within reason. Not what the Las Vegas Raiders did with Chip Kelly last year was not reasonable. So I don't know that they would do that necessarily. But, Matt Patricia is doing his job, and he's doing right by Ohio State by, building a roster for the future, putting a plan in place under the assumption that he could and maybe should or would be back. So I don't think that that's affected the defensive side any. And honestly, the way that Ryan Day views the offensive side of the football as he providing the stability, I don't know that having an offensive coordinator in place would have changed anything with the way the Buckeyes have gone about this. They haven't needed to find much. The final decisions will come down on the offensive line with Carson Hinsman and Austin Sarabeld. The NFL draft deadline to declare is today. I think both of those guys will be back for the Buckeyes. That gives them 4 starters plus, Josh Padilla and or Gabe Van Sickle to replace Tegra Shabola, which was probably going to happen anyway. They needed to replace Max Clare and Jelani Thurman at tight end. They have already done that with 2 tight ends in the transfer portal. When they got Bo Jackson back, that decreased the necessity of getting a starting caliber running back. They have Julian Sayin back. They have Jeremiah Smith. They paid for Chris Henry Jr. and his recruitment pretty handsomely. So there wasn't, in Ohio State's view, a ton of work that they needed to do on that side of the football. And I know that people will say, well, look at all the wide receivers that are in the transfer portal, and Carnell Tate's going to the NFL draft. Bryson Rodgers is gone, and you lost Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham. Yeah, that's part of the same conversation about the size of the roster and the depth chart and how many guys are going to contribute. So I don't know that having a new offensive coordinator hired would have changed what Ohio State was doing over the last week and a half in the portal. So long answer to say I don't think it would have altered the approach any.
You mentioned the offensive coordinator. Where are we at with that?
Yeah, I just the NFL coaching carousel really just started spinning, and it's still ramped up yesterday with Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. So these things have to settle a little bit at that level, and it has to settle some for Ohio State. I think that far and away the top priority for them is to get through this transfer portal window, make sure that the roster is in place, and then Ryan Day can look at what's going to be available to Matt Patricia and then focus on what is going to be available to him in an offensive coordinator. If that's the route he goes. Now, I think that he will. I think that's ultimately where he will go, and they'll have to get creative with the way that the staff is used and delegated in terms of full-time spots and being on-the-road recruiters. I think last year's example of the Matt Patricia cycle, and really even 2 years ago, if you want to use that with both Bill O'Brien and Chip Kelly, that really dragged out because when you're dealing with people who have NFL opportunities or have coached at the NFL level, their schedule does not line up with the college football coaching carousel that is starting earlier and earlier and tries to get done in December. Around the Super Bowl, you see a ton of these pieces really fall into place for NFL coaches. I think that that's sort of where you have to expect this to end. At this time a year ago, defensively, Ryan Day was looking at Tim Walton and Matt Guerrieri and saying, I would feel good. I have confidence in those guys. They could be co-defensive coordinators. That was just one option that was in the selection set available to him. And then he still wound up with a head coach of the defense who did a phenomenal job in Matt Patricia. And I think that there are conversations about Keenan Bailey and Tyler Bowen and Billy Fessler that he has confidence in any combination of those guys that they could do the role. But I don't think that is likely going to be the outcome here if Ryan Day is intending the way I expect him to remain in that CEO role and to start taking his hands off of the wheel increasingly on the offensive side of the football. I don't think he needs to be in a position ever again where he's got to pick up the play sheet again in a college football playoff, and the Buckeyes will be back in those games very soon. So I don't know, Bob, of a list of candidates that I can give you. The one that I always mentioned, I think there was some level of interest from Brian Daboll, but he's also getting calls to be a head coach still at the NFL level. He's probably not going to pass on those to be a coordinator in college football. He could, but I don't know that he will. So I don't have names to throw out for you, but that's sort of, I don't think that the overarching plan from Ryan Day has altered that much.
Austin Ward joins us here on Morning Juice. Austin, I think I asked you a similar question last week, but now I was reading closer to the closing of the portal and NFL draft decisions. Has anybody that Ohio State lost really caused a ripple with the team?
No. And there will certainly be people that find that hard to believe given how many players are departing the program and have entered the transfer portal. But I think that this is the day and age of college football, and they've had to have hard conversations, and I think that there are definitely a few players that Ohio State expected to be able to keep in this a couple week stretch, and I know that Jeremiah and Carnell expressed, they put up their heartbreak emojis after Mylan Graham entered the transfer portal. There are definitely players that the coaching staff and their teammates don't want to see leave, but I think that everybody can understand why that's happening and how that's happening and the decisions that those players are making for themselves. When you look at a position and decisions that are making it more challenging right now, that would be, Bryce West going to Wisconsin and Aaron Scott at corner. Now, Bryce West and the nickel, that opened up an opportunity, and Ohio State was probably going to be involved in it. When Earl Little Jr. declared for the NFL draft, and they said, well, Ohio State's like, hey, wait a minute, would you have any interest in sticking around and playing nickel or safety? That may have influenced Bryce West's decision. I don't know that, but Ohio State was going to be involved. They put Earl Little at the top of their board for that position, just like they did with Terry Moore, which then is another domino that puts him in a conversation with Fahim Delane's decision to leave. So the secondary was already going to be a challenge to fill those starting spots when you lose Caleb Downs and Lorenzo Styles and Davis Nigbenosin, and then when you throw in the potential that Aaron Scott and Bryce West and maybe even Fahim Delane could have played, prominent or rotational roles for Ohio State, that has really put that unit in a state of flux. And I don't know that everyone loves to have to deal with that, because those are also high dollar positions when you're out there in the transfer portal market, and there aren't a ton of them. If you look at cornerback right now, like the most appealing option would be Aaron Scott and bringing him back. So, I don't. Everyone is going to have a little bit of raw feelings about that. It's understandable, but it's probably more important, Tito, to put it in through the lens of, did it surprise people and then lead to anger? And I don't think that's the case.
It doesn't seem like it did. Austin, there's a narrative before we get you out of here, where Ohio State is maybe playing by the rules that no one else is playing by, or maybe they're playing Moneyball or being cheap. We listened to Ross Bjork talk a little bit about this. As to your understanding, it seems like they're in a pretty good position financially, and they're making strong competitive offers without trying to, just overpay and reset the market for all of these guys, and in turn retaining their guys as well. I mean, is that the sense that you are getting, or is there something more afoot?
Well, it is true that Ohio State wants to control its spending, and that it would prefer all of these deals if the CSC does actually activate an NIL Go, and if it does want business purposes, legitimate business purposes in place to approve these deals, which it's starting to get more interested again. I still don't know if everyone has signed off fully on the CSC to let there be punishments and penalties. And so I know that there are many people that say, well, if there are no rules, then why would Ohio State act accordingly? I think that the cost of their roster is going to be around $40 million for 2026.
Cheapskates.
That is well above the CSC cap, Bob, right? I mean,
yeah.
Am I doing that math?
Sounds almost like it would be
twice
it, even the full max of 20.
So I can't. It's going to be one of the 5 most expensive rosters in the sport. It's going to be one of the 5 most talented rosters in the sport. I don't believe that Ohio State is clipping coupons. I do believe that it is not willing to overspend, because let's just use the Bo Jackson example. If they had said, well, here's a blank check. I don't know the numbers. I don't know what I'm not going to report what the final contract was. That's not important. But let's just say that it was twice the amount, whatever they agreed to. Then you immediately have to turn around and you have to renegotiate with Isaiah West, because he's going to split carries. That then impacts what you have to spend. If you're going to add another transfer portal back, which, Tito, to go back to your question, there is maybe a running back that's nearing the finish line in the next day or two that could help supply some depth, but he's not a starting caliber piece. But then your resources to go after someone from Florida or Michigan State or wherever else, those shrink. The money is not limitless, and Ohio State would like to make sure that there are legitimate business interests tied to these deals in case. Because one thing the CSC has said is that everyone agreed to these rules, and we don't know if the penalties will ever be real or not, but they could be. So why would you put yourself in that jeopardy? I don't have any problem with that. The two things that Ryan Day and Ross Bjork have said consistently is that they have to manage their spending in a feasible way so that they can do this every single year to put a contender on the field, and they don't want to promise money that they don't have, which is bad business for the future.
Come on,
so
Austin.
I know. Other programs may do that. That doesn't
call the U.S. government. Listen, just start. We'll worry about the debt later.
Well, yes, I know. You can just print more Bjork dollars and then hand those out, and they're good for
I think it's actually
extra.
Bjork bucks is what we're looking for here.
Bjork bucks. That's right. My mistake. But so, people will say that that's just an excuse, or that it's scarlet-colored glasses, or what. Like, you can feel that way, and I understand it. If you were following the rules specifically and to a T and not crossing any lines, and I'm not suggesting that any of this is untoward, because using Learfield, using the foundation, using all that stuff is going to take everyone that wants to be competing for a national championship beyond $20 million. But I just don't think you can make a legitimate case that Ross Bjork is putting a governor in this golf cart that is Ohio State football and slowing it down on purpose, because they're going to spend $40 million. And at the same time, he is giving a salary pool that would allow you to retain Matt Patricia, or 2 years ago allowed you to hire Bill O'Brien and pay Chip Kelly's buyout in the same offseason. I just don't understand that notion, because it doesn't match up with the reality that we're actually seeing.
He is one half of the beat with Austin and Byrne. Appreciate the time, Austin. Have a great day today, bud. We'll talk next week.
All right, see you guys. Have a great Wednesday.
All right, coming up next, we'll wrap things up. Tell you who's got us juiced. Morning Juice.
My mom is a veteran, and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned, so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place, and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thitoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. Thanks to all the juicers for tuning in today. We appreciate that. Thank you to Austin Ward. And now we're going to tell you what's got us excited.
What's got you juiced?
All right. Wednesday, Bob. What do you got?
Oh, what's got me juiced? My uncle came in town yesterday. He lives in Tucson, and my cousin, his daughter lives out in Philadelphia. So he was out seeing her and her family for the last week, and on his way back through, stopped to say hey, and so he'll be here for a week. So I got a chance to see him down at my parents' yesterday, which was pretty good. I always enjoy that because he lives in Phoenix, so I only get to see him so often, and it's wild. I mean, I cannot believe it. He's 80. My oldest uncle, I thought he was turning 84. He's turning 86 this year, which is absolutely wild. So my mom's the youngest of 7, so like her oldest brothers are significantly older than her, and they're in pretty good shape, and it's great to see. Good time with it. He was questioning your argument about a scar versus a scratch and some of the details and facts that you were presenting, because you may have contradicted yourself in that on Monday.
That doesn't sound like.
And by the way, that scratch looks like it's going away, Bodie.
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought about that this morning too. I was like, it looks like it's starting to be.
But if it's
more
a scar,
scratch, less scar.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's going to ever be a scar. It didn't look all that deep,
no,
just superficial. So I think you're going to be okay with that. That's got me juiced with everything. Getting through it. Yesterday was a tough one. It was my man Nick Mangold's birthday, and so anytime you have something like that after a passing, and just texting his wife and going through all that, it was a long, tough day. With all of that, and talking to my dad about it, and you would love this. Thitoff. My parents, they're cleaning out a lot of the stuff in their home, and they have these old scrapbooks with my dad that are from the Oilers days and some of his Miami, Ohio day, and they're huge. They're like, they look like they belong like the Library of Congress. They're like 3 feet long and like 2 feet wide, and my mom made most of them and all the stuff in there. And my mom's like, "What do we do with those?" I'll take them. I go, I could probably drop them off at Thitoff, and he'll just sit there and read them. He likes to read. Right. He likes to read outdated periodicals as if there's new information that's being gleaned.
You never know
from that. And it was interesting because I heard Ted Cruz make a comment yesterday. He was a senator out of Texas about the Texans-Pittsburgh game. And so if you're a Houston fan, going back to the 70s. They played them twice back to in AFC championships, lost both times in Pittsburgh, some really good teams with some really talented players. And Ted Cruz brought that up. He's like, I was a young boy when we lost to them. He's like, they had it coming to them. It's been 40 years. He's like, I was glad to finally get those wins. I'm like, man, well, way to hang on to that. Don't rob me of my hate. It's all that I have left. And so it was amazing hearing that, and then seeing all that stuff that my dad pulled out last night and looking through some of it was a lot of fun. So enjoyed that. Halfway through the week now, running downhill. Already past Coaster Bob time. So I'm feeling good about life. Hopefully fun weekend here on the horizon, and hopefully a big Thursday as well. So, Bodie, what Schleig's got to say?
In the league, you're not really you're not able to go in and do forceful adaptation, right? Which is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, but you can.
We heard that one yesterday.
Honestly, though, I almost want you to play that, but you can't hold his face on the water.
You know what? I'll play it while I get the other one ready.
In the league, you're not really you're not able to go in and do forceful adaptation, right? Which is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, but you can when you grab the back of his neck and you stick his face in the water, and some of it goes down his throat, some of it goes up his nose. That's a Mickey Marotti thing.
All right, Schleig's part 2.
I totally forgot it was Anthony on Anthony Crime.
Yes, it was Tony on Tony Crime. Did you ever go by Tony?
Not a lot. Most people just call me Schlegs or Anthony. Yeah. What's up? Keep asking. That was a great. Guess what? Your question, Tito, sucked. Also, I appreciate it because it's about Ohio State football and about people. So, Tito, give me another question that doesn't suck.
I mean, the energy levels on both of those,
Yes.
like back-to-back, is awesome.
And they're like in order, too. So that would have been like probably back-to-back weeks or in a 2-week stretch or whatever. But nevertheless, what does not have me juiced today, guys, I cannot seem to get rid of this cold that I feel like I've had for like a week now. It hasn't gotten any worse, but I just like can't get that congestion and sore
Talk
throat
to McConaughey.
to go, hey, how's he going to help?
The Dallas Buyers Club.
Okay,
Hope you
never
kick-
seen it.
Oh, well, I hope you kick that cold.
Okay, I'll add it to the list. I wasn't sure if this was a Wolf of Wall Street little bump,
No.
get you through the
Well,
day.
it is. It's a little bit different. You need to watch it.
Okay, I'll add it to the list. What also does not have me juiced, so I've been trying to like make some more meals this year, and that way I'm not just eating the exact same dinner every single
It's
night.
okay, consistency.
And-
AJ eats the same thing every day.
And say,
People that do that, they say you're geniuses. So.
Okay, I do eat oatmeal every single day for breakfast, and most days for lunch is just a protein shake. So I guess I'm like maybe 2/3 of the way there. What I came to realize though last night is I apparently need a bigger crock pot because that became a very quick overflow situation with the chicken meal I was trying to make. But the problem is there's nowhere for the crock pot to go if it was a bigger one than I have in the cabinetry space. So stuck between a rock and a hard place, Tito. But what does have me juiced, Thitoff, 235 days till we meet Wisconsin and Lambeau.
Can't wait for that, can
And
you?
all those portal acquisitions. I don't know, Tito.
You and
I'm not
Steve
gonna.
Kerr.
I'm
I
not
was gonna
gonna
ask that
say.
question.
I'm not gonna say it's the year because we do things one game, one life at a time. But
Steve Kerr says to you, I've got an extra ticket you can have for free. We'll meet there and sit next to each
No,
other.
not me there. We'll ride up together.
Would you?
I'd have to get more of a background check on that.
Sitting beside him at a game is nothing. I want you to ride in a car 4.5 hours with him to South Bend.
Little planes, trains, and automobile situation there.
It could be.
What has you juiced today, sir?
You 34512 in the chat. Those were tough back then. They were those back-to-back years. Bob, they lost the 1 year 34-5. Then the other one they lost when they got screwed on the catch by who's the catch? We decided was
Kenny Burrow.
Kenny Burrow in the end zone there that they should have been a touchdown for them. I can't.
Oh yeah, that was the one that basically invented instant
Instant
replay.
replay, yeah.
That's I can't put the two together. Like Texans and Oilers are not anywhere near the same for my mind.
But you
know
don't
what I mean?
live. You didn't
Yeah.
live in Houston. If
Right.
you lived in Houston, I mean, it would be a big deal. The biggest tragedy is the fact that the Oilers logos and stuff aren't still with the Texans to be able to wear it because they even talk about being Tom Petty. The Oilers even like filed. I don't know if it's like within the federal court or if it's just with the NFL. Because they were using some of that Oiler blue in some of their alternate uniforms, and the Oilers have the rights to that, so they like filed an issue with the Texans. I don't know if it's in court or
So
just
Tennessee, like the Tennessee Titans,
because they used to
filed
be
it?
the Oilers.
Yeah, they
yeah,
moved,
no, I
took it
know.
with me.
So
That's
yeah,
what-
the Titans filed it against them, against the Texans, and so that's why they don't wear like the light blue anymore.
Okay,
and they used to have like some of it in their helmet, I
Yeah,
think,
seems
and
a
they have
little.
jerseys. Oh, Tom Petty for sure.
Yeah, you're telling me we got a football team in Tennessee?
One of
Yeah, let's win
my
the Super Bowl.
I'd say it's weird to say it got juice, but like one of my longest tenured friends who I've known since we were in the
What ends the
8th
tenure?
grade. Well, if we decide not to be friends anymore, I'm saying like, that's what I'm getting at. His father passed away yesterday, and his dad had been very sick for a while, but it forced it. We had a phone conversation. I talked for a while. He and I did, and then it led to me reaching out to a couple other friends from way back then, also, and getting to catch up with them. Granted, not under the best circumstances, but I'm still surprised. My one buddy, Mike, his dad will be 95 this year.
Nice,
and he was great. He coached us in soccer when I was younger, and coached us in some sports and things like that. His dad was playing like baseball, active baseball or softball, well into his 70s, like against guys much younger. He's a hell of an infielder. But anyway, so I got a chance to talk to Mike yesterday. I talked to my buddy Jess. I talked to my friend, a couple other guys also as well. But so it's tough. It's getting to that point where we're at age where our parents are, near the end in a lot of ways. And just hearing that his dad's still kicking at 95 years old was fantastic. I was very happy to hear about that for him. What else has me juiced? It's I get to coach basketball tonight, it looks like, filling in for the head coach. We'll see how that goes. I told you, Bob, last time I did it, I went in there thinking I was like Gene Hackman and Hoosiers the first time I had to run the practice.
Or like Dennis Hopper.
I was more like the guy that he replaced who comes out there after, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, 20 minutes on, get some shooting, shoot the ball. And then, Brad comes in and takes the whistle back and says, your time here as a coach is done. Leave the ball, that kind of thing. That's where I'm at. But I'll have fun with it tonight. It'll be good.
Listen, Tito, we may not be the best basketball team.
Yes.
But you can make them the most well-conditioned.
That's what I can do. A lot of running. And it's always a challenge with Artie because he likes me more as a father than as a coach. And so
that's probably not uncommon.
Is it because he doesn't get to run the practice?
Yeah, part of it, yes. And also, and honestly, I mean this, and I hate saying it out loud, he knows the plays better than I do. So there'll be times in practice, and I'm like, Artie, what's this play? What do you guys do on this play? He's what Dad. So on the inbounds play, we're here and here and here and here, and the players said, so I'm literally getting coaching tips from my son in front of the players, which probably undermines my authority a little bit.
You still got that whistle around your neck, though.
That's true. I still have that.
Tell him get on that baseline.
My buddy took a whistle to the Steelers game. And
is it that?
I don't think you're allowed to bring.
illegal?
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be bringing whistles in.
He brought it in.
Some Bears fan took a cheese grater into that game, though.
Yes.
Saturday night. Did you guys see that?
I saw that.
awesome.
Yeah. So after the game, Caleb Williams was grating cheese.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, after the win for them. But yeah, and my buddy wore his cape at the game and everything.
Cape?
He has a Steelers cape he puts on when he goes to the games.
How did he take the news yesterday? Funeral or?
No, he was. I mean, we talked.
Still hanging in there.
We kind of figured it could very well happen, and like we talked about before, they don't with Tomlin, they would never. I don't know it's a good thing or bad thing. Would never bottom out though.
Yeah.
So the worst thing you do is be mediocre, and they've been mediocre for a few years now. They've made bad decisions with quarterback decisions there. So. Hopefully get back on track. But, yeah, it's interesting that for the third time in my life
though,
now.
I'll be honest with you, Tito. I don't know that I've ever seen that at
he wore
a
a
game.
cape and then...
Or really anywhere outside of like a Marvel movie, honestly.
Blew the whistle.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Blew the whistle during there were like lulls in the game to get people excited. And, yeah, it's...
I'm surprised the security didn't take that from him. Like inadvertent whistles are a real thing during games.
Yeah, he didn't do it during a play.
He didn't care.
I get that.
But I would have been more bothered by the cape than the whistle, actually. Grown man in a cape.
I think I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
50-year-old man wearing a cape at a Steelers game. I mean, come on. That's
sounds good to me.
Hey, you know what? Maybe he was just really inspired by The Dark Knight Rises. That's where the
they shot it there.
That's right. It was at that place.
Like,
yeah,
listen, if the field starts literally blowing to the end of the ground.
Yes, you're right. That's fair.
Bruce Wayne's right here.
So that's it for us today, Juicers. Thanks so much. We will talk to you again tomorrow. We'll have Albert Breer on tomorrow. It's also a Brody Thursday, which you would know what that means. It's a Your Highness Thursday. We'll talk to him also as well.